Let's just touch on um, a couple scriptures uh showing that there's an algorithm, that was basically, the other nations get this from our book as usual. We always are the progenitors of everything, but you got to look at everything with, with that, third eye of what an algorithm is, okay? And we will get into the definition momentarily. So Baba Kusha, could you get the book of Genesis, chapter 5, verses 1 through 2? What?
Come. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 5, beginning at verse 1. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that God created man, and the likeness of God made he him. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam, in the day when they were created.
So just reading that scripture, you're like, what you talking about? Well, this was the beginning of our algorithm. Um, and for us Israelites who are well scripted on the book of Genesis, you kind of get where I'm going. So this was beginning of our algorithm. And this is where the other nations, got that idea of an algorithm from our Bible. We all read the book or know of it. And for time's sake, we will paraphrase, you know. So it released the algorithm that would eventually from the keyword process. Okay. So let me get you the definition. Let me share my screen real quick. So keyword is process. All right. So, all right, there we go. Share my screen. I'm gonna be a G at this soon. Just give me a feel. Or there. Okay, gone. Okay, so everyone see the definition here. Salakia. Can everyone see that?
Come, you got it up on the search.
Is that it right there? Hold up. So you see it? I can't see it.
I mean, I see the word, the words, but not the definition. I'm not sure if you select the definition, which meaning you're going to use.
Okay. Give me a second. Oh, yeah, I had hit the wrong button. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm working off of my little surface. Salakia. Okay, there we go. So everybody see the word now?
Con,
Okay, so algorithm, okay? A process or set of rules to be followed and calculation. So we're going to stick with that. All right, it's a method to the madness. So a process or set of rules. So when you go back to the book of Genesis, we was created. Um, it talks about the generations of Adam, right? That's chapter 5. But if you go back in the beginning, there was a process. He created everyone. Then, chapter 2, he talks about him breathing the breath of life into Adam's nostrils. Okay. So that was a set of rules. We ain't gonna get all into it because this class is on algorithm. So just follow me. So it was a process, right? The earth, everything was created, a process, or a set of rules, which basically it is. So the process, then there's a set of rules to be followed, and calculations. And calculations is pretty deep. We're going to get into that momentarily. All right. So let me stop sharing that. So hopefully everybody understand. All right. So give me Deuteronomy chapter 1, because it's going to talk about the algorithm. So we're talking about algorithm, right? How is this social media created algorithm that everybody is being manipulated, everybody is being propagandized, everybody is being um, indoctrinated, right? So give me Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 1, Baba Kishai.
Come. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake, Slaki. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side of Jordan in the wilderness, in the plain over against the Red Sea, between Paran and Topel and Laban and Hazeroth and Dezabah, Slaki, Dezahab.
God.
Continue.
No, that's it. That's it right there.
Oh,
Like it. Give me a second. Okay, come on. So when you read the chapter, these be the words of Moses. This is where he went down, and he was giving the Israelites the commandments and everything. Give me a second. Go ahead and skip the verse 3.
verse 3. And it came to pass in the 40th year, in the 11th month, on the first day of the month, that Moses spake unto the children of Israel, according unto all that the Lord had given him in commandment unto them.
Shalaki. So it mentioned the scripture because in order to get people to follow, to comprehend, you have to have a structure, an instruction, etc. So I'm just giving you guys like a brief synopsis on like, this is how this algorithm started. They say this Arabic dude Musa started, but it was already in our book. Okay. So he's given us an algorithm and it works if you use it. The so-called a Jewish man, he uses it, not to the full capacity of what, we're given the law, statutes, commandments, but he uses it and it works. Why do we know this? Because so-called Jewish man has the most millionaires in any country. As far as a race goes, our nation of people, they have the most richest people out of everyone because they not to the complete best, but they follow a algorithm. Their dollar cycles. I don't know. I think it stays in their community like 4 to 5 months or something like that. I think the longest was Black Wall Street, which was like a year. Or so-called Black Wall Street. So there's an algorithm. All right. So let me get one more. Let me get Salakia. Let me get Deuteronomy 28, verse 64.
Uh, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there shalt and thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Gone. Now we know that scripture is talking about, Christianity, Islam and stuff like that. But it's also letting us know that while we're scattered among all these other nations and stuff, we're going to serve other guys. It's not just only Christianity or Islam. It's the God of social media. It's the God of TikTok. It's the God of this. It's the God of that. And we keep falling into these other nations algorithm to the point. I'm gonna share my screen that this brother was taken out by the Most High because he was trying to destroy our people. So he had to get him. Give me a second. I think you brothers know who I'm about to bring up. Hold on.
So, like, you have any videos? Put up your
Yeah, I
face.
do. I have the video. I just want to get this out the way real quick.
The Lakia.
Go on.
Fine. If you need any help with reading, just let me know. And
Okay.
I'll hop in whenever the reader get tired.
Go on. Appreciate it. All right, I got it. So okay. So everybody remember this brother right here, right? This is the world star guy. Lee Q. Everybody see him? Lee Q, the not world star hip hop founder. Can everyone see him?
Gone.
All right. So this man has a heart attack at 43. Why is that? Well, he was doing some wicked stuff. And as far as the algorithm go, I mean, no one could wake up in the morning without tuning in the World Star. You know, um, I mean, it was it was like morning breakfast, you know, and the more you was on there, it was following your algorithm, and it was pretty much violent. You know, it was a lot of violence, a lot of our sisters on there fighting and stuff like that. And I mean, he was about to go international before he had that heart attack, you know. So God knows where we would be if he launched his before TikTok launched theirs. You know, everybody familiar with World Star, correct?
Lord, no, I ain't know that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man, this dude, whew, yeah, he was yeah, he had to go. I mean, you know, he has a family and everything, but what he was doing, because people would do it for the star. You know, people just hang out, you know, say world star. I mean, they was knocking little girls. I didn't want to bring out all those videos, but they was knocking little girls over with trash cans, girls getting stomped out. I mean, we heard about the little girl named Sharkeisha that kicked the other girl, like her head was a football. You know, that was on for like 3 years. The guy from the bus that gave the girl the all you could uppercut where she was drunk and high, didn't want to get off the bus, and she spit in his face, and he got off the bus, and he pretty much lost his job, his retirement, and everything over defending himself. So just wanted to bring out just a couple of scriptures on algorithm and where it initially come from, because we are the progenitors of everything. So I'll give you guys a couple of videos on how wicked, you know, this social media is, and they know what they're doing. All right. Slovakia. All right. So this first video is going to be on, you know, how they're manipulating us, and they know it. And we don't know it, but they know it. All right, here we go. All right, can everybody see it?
Gone.
Now, presumably, you're really paying attention to me now, because research shows that people tend to remember and pay attention to things more that stand out to them as being interesting or funny. Now, according to Michael Griffin, an associate professor of media and cultural studies, this is how my grandparents got their news. Now, they could assume that the media was unbiased because journalistic integrity was one of the most important things at their time.
So everybody see that? This is how we used to get the news, you know, back in the day, which those writers were biased. Um, some of them, maybe one or two, was unbiased, but we got to understand the times of what was going on. You know, you had like World War One, you had the Spanish flu, you had all this stuff happening between like 1915, 1920. All right, we just started that time stamp. Okay, so in order to get people to read these papers, they've been having a rhythm, to get our people. And then, it goes on, it goes with the depression, then everybody hating, the Japanese. It's just a rhythm, what they were doing.
On top of this, it was considered a public service, and honestly, they just didn't have many ways of getting news. This is how my parents got their news. Increasingly, we started to move towards a more 24 hours type of news, which led to an increase in competition to be the trusted news source, but also decrease the time for fact checking. And this is.
And so with the CNN, it talks about that in Anchorman. If y'all saw the I think it's the second Anchorman, and it talks about the 24 hour. If you watch the movie, it's funny, but it actually has a point. They did this for a purpose, to keep you in your chairs, right?
Is how to.
And to keep the manipulation, that was in the actual definition of algorithm, the calculation. That was the part that was very slick. So algorithm is a process, a set of rules and laws, and a calculation. So that calculation is the science part, the math part. But it goes back to the law, statutes, and commandments, because we had a process, we had laws, and we gambled with the calculation ending in Deuteronomy 28:15 and all the rest of those curses, right? So they are replicating the same understanding of what the Israelites had to go through. We had an algorithm, we had a process, we had a set laws, and then calculating. If you calculated wrong, you bear false witness, adultery, all that stuff. The calculation was punishment. So therefore, with the algorithm of the social media, you keep it's continuous, and until you become mind control. You see people walking like blindly with their phones like just glued to their face. That's come on now. That's abnormal. That's crazy.
Today's generation gets their news. We have so many options, and they're nearly all free. And because of this, many news sources began to pick their spot along the liberal to conservative continuum, and the continuum of presenting complete facts all the way to complete information fabrication. And with all of these vying for our very limited attention.
Kind. So I'm gonna stop it here for a second. Can I get Second Peter's chapter 2, verse 2? Baba Kishah?
No, I got it. This is the book of Second Peter, chapter 2 and verse 2. And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken.
Kind. So, and many shall follow their pernicious ways. So that word pernicious, okay? Like he just said, let me just replay it a little bit.
The complete information fabrication. And with all of these vying for our very limited.
Chalaki. Okay.
Many news sources began to pick their spot along the liberal to conservative continuum, and the continuum of presenting complete facts all the way to complete information fabrication.
So when he says complete facts to complete fabrication, okay, pernicious, it's a very powerful word. So again, and many shall follow their pernicious ways. Okay, pernicious, having a harmful effect, especially in a gradual or subtle way. Okay, real quick, who was subtle in the Bible in the way beginning? He had a pernicious way. Let me get the book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 1. Baba Kushai.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 1. 3 and 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
Con. So I know you guys are like, well, what does this have to do with algorithm? Well, it has a lot. Satan is Satan. These algorithms, this social media, even this Esau up here is telling you. Now the serpent was more subtle. Okay. These guys who's creating these algorithms, they are other nations. Some of them are people, but for the most part, they're doing vicious things. They're doing pernicious, having a harmful effect, especially in a gradual, subtle way. When it says now the serpent was more subtle, that means crafty, sly. He'll have you outside washing your car in the rain. That's what he does, and this is what we up against. This is why we try to tell our people to stay off of these social media venues. It's okay for a little bit, but next thing you know, you're looking at it and it's 3 a.m. And, fun fact, you have to set your phone from the blue light to the night light, because the blue light, it acts as the sun. So if you're wondering why you can't go to sleep, go to your settings and display and set your light to night light. It'll turn your phone yellow and your butt will go to sleep. But if you up there with the blue light on, you're gonna be up there like how it used to be back in the 80s. You see them them crackheads out there. Like they done seen a ghost. That's what everybody look like with these cell phones at night. All right, let me continue.
And with all of these vying for our very limited attention, we moved from a model where news could be assumed to be inherently truthful and unbiased to one which enabled fake news. Fake news, those false stories with the intent of influencing our opinions and beliefs and are presented as facts. Yeah, those ones. Well, because of this, instead of news being the product, our attention became the product in the form of views, clicks, and likes. I mean, if we see a viral story about a shark swimming down a freeway after a hurricane, we can probably assume it isn't true and it's just someone having a little fun with some Photoshop.
I don't know if y'all remember that, but that was a real thing. Like somebody actually brought that. I got one more video after this, but I'm gonna land me on. I'm gonna bring out some more on that video. So when he said the fake news, people actually believe it was a shark on the highway. I think that was in who was that? I don't know. I think it was North Carolina or something, the 95.
I think it was straight like that down in Miami, down in South Florida. I mean, at one point also.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, I believe so. Say it was sharks in the neighborhood,
Yeah, I mean,
Florida area, I believe.
kind. Well, people actually believe that, you know, and it didn't happen, but somebody went ahead and did their little thing. And, we all hear what Trump says, fake news and stuff, but it is a real thing. And that stuff is really, like we keep having skits every day. The brother who went to go bring his kid a bag of McDonald's and didn't bring the other kids, come to find out that was fake. But everybody was mad at that woman. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she probably got some death threats. I don't know. But you know how social media is, and like Esau said, he said his generation is raised up on this. You're watching even further. Basically, Generation Z, if it ain't on YouTube, if it ain't Google like Savi, that's their news source. YouTube. It's crazy. Now we know people, it's opinionated things on here, and not everything you see is factual, but that's scary. It's to the point where you can ask a young man, hey, did you know about slavery? Oh, that never happened. It's getting scary because they have an algorithm. And that algorithm, the next video is going to show you how tactical they are with putting this information out there, and how just insane. So for the fake news, let me get Proverbs chapter 26, verse 24 through 26. Baba Kusha. Hopefully everybody's with me. I'm not gonna make it too long, too painful for you.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 26, beginning at verse 24.
Done.
He that hated, he that hated dissembleth with his lips, and layeth up deceit within him. When he speaketh fair, believe him not. For there are 7 abominations in his heart.
Done. So what Esau, young Esau is talking about is that word disassembleth. Okay. That word, he that hateth disassembleth. So he that conceals facts, feelings, or intentions. He's not telling you everything. Okay. Just like that shark. Now you got people saying, oh man, I don't want to travel there. Or I got to go get me a bunker. Paranoia, settles in. Because, truth be told, half these young folks and some of us old folks, we high every day. We on all these different drugs and stuff like that. So, God knows what your mind go to. So he that hateth disassembleth, he that conceals facts, okay? When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. So you can't believe everything you see on the news, because they're playing these games and the algorithm, it's you guys gotta understand cookies, that's getting to some IT stuff. Maybe I do a class on that. But like cookies is like what's really getting us, the cookies that's in the computers when you type in stuff and you're talking around your phone, they're actually hearing you. You go on Facebook, you're like, I was just talking about 4 F-150s. Why is it showing commercials? Because the cookies, they hear that stuff and they create all these different things. So you just got to be careful. Nobody says you got to walk with your phone in a lockbox, but just be, I guess, vigilant. Just be situationally aware that you are being listened to. They're trying to have an algorithm to where as though it keeps us in limbo. It keeps us from missing the feast days. It keeps us from, you know, um, um, calling your brothers. You on social media all day and you like, oh man, it's like 8 o'clock at night. I should have called such and such. He ain't feeling well or whatever. Okay. So the other nations, they have no obligation of our laws, our way of life. So they continue to find new ways to manipulate and distract. And this TikTok algorithm is crazy. You know, this is what they should use to try to find what they be trying to look for, what they call baby daddies. All right, give me a second. Let me bring it up. Just the last video. Slovakia. Slovakia, I hit the wrong button. Give me a second. Anybody have any questions? Okay, come on.
Just add to, they create these devices to think for us. So
Time.
actually, to
I'm
know
done
what's
spending an obscene amount of money on tape.
Slovakia, go ahead, Kane. I'm sorry.
You got it done.
I'm getting back on track with
Sorry about that.
dinner. Fresh, never frozen meals here. Okay, has anyone else?
Time. You said they're actually getting these devices to think for us out? Is that what you said?
Yeah, calm. It ain't actually. Yeah, that's what it's doing.
Oh,
They
come.
they can predict. You know what I'm saying? Well, they're working up to get them to predict our pretty much everyday lifestyle. They would think for us in advance before it even comes out. It's already going to be their program because they're right now they're monitoring us right now anyway. Yeah, every time you're online, like I said, every time your phone there, you talk, you say words, whatever. It's recording, it's calculating it, and it's creating a program to know exactly everything about us. Likes, dislikes, wants, when we want it. Like here now, like if you get, I know like for me, I'm quite sure it's probably the same for most too. when I get inside my vehicle, once I turn the car on,
Mhm.
my phone automatically, my Google Maps pop up going to
Mm.
work. Never had a program that way. It's already telling me you going to work. This is how you get there.
That's
So,
crazy.
uh,
Yeah, I should have did um let me see, because I remember it because I turned it off on one of my phones, and it's basically, yeah, the Google, it's like a tracking analytics that they have. You can turn it off on your phone and everything else. I'll touch on it real quick. So basically, like the brother was saying, in Google, because we all log into Google, it has a recorder. It's like it's like, the recorder angel. Well, that's why I say they take everything from our book. It has a recorder AI who just tracks everything. So when you go to the store, like he said about the map, it pinpoints where you stop at. It's creating an algorithm because most people are repetitive. We become habitual. That's why it's really ain't hard to find somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody repeats themselves. You wash up the same night every night. Unless you under the influence or you sick or something. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, that's one thing I learned in the army. You hunting down people. Like everybody's habitual. They go see their mom every Sunday. We caught a guy like that I think it was like every third Sunday. This dude go to his mom's, has a feast, got him, and he had a baby mama. She was mad at him. She was like, "Yeah, he do this every." I was like, "All right, baby, thank you, appreciate it." And we caught him like in like a couple months because he did everything she said he did. So Google will track your algorithm. You can turn it off though. Just Google tracking stuff, and you can turn it. I turned it off on all my phones. Because I was reading it and it was scary. Like everywhere you ain't supposed to go, they have that right there. I should have brought that out. But yeah, that was a good a good peep out. Yeah, so you have that on your phone, on everywhere. So don't think you're not being tracked, okay? Because they're creating an algorithm, a process, a set, like your set ways and stuff. So when it's time to get you, they go get you. It's one of those things. So this next video kind of
it's
talks
a,
about this. Go ahead, Ken.
yeah, and they bring everything out to make it sound like it's a convenience for you. To get like to make it normal. Like it's something acceptable. It's not a problem when I leave home. When I wake up in the morning, tell them I'm going to work, or when I leave work, he's going to tell me I'm going to the gym or I'm going home. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I land.
Good. Yeah, it um like the brother said, it normalizes things, and we don't realize that it's wicked. He that hateth dissembleth, okay, with his lips, they conceal this stuff, you know, and they pretend, and that's what they're really good at, pretending. We have Stockholm syndrome really bad. I wish most of us would get mental health therapists and stuff like that, because we don't half of us don't even understand that. So you're being manipulated by this nation and other nations. They disassemble you. They conceal facts. They don't tell you everything, you know. And that's a whole different topic. But again, algorithm, okay? It's a process, a set of laws, rules, and calculations, okay? And that calculation part, what the brother's saying, it all is bringing it home. It's normalizing. That's part of the calculation. They throw words in there, and sometimes you just be like, man, I don't really get that, So when you look up the definition of calculation, it's a mathematical determination. Okay? It's a mathematical determination. It's an assessment of risk, possibilities, or effects of a situation or course of action. That was a lot. An assessment of risk, possibilities, or effects of a situation or course of action. Okay? So those process, that set of laws, Okay, it's all being calculated to what it is that they're trying to determine. Okay, and so if all you like is to look at, animals, or if all you like is to do this, they're going to put that algorithm in there, and it's going to slowly dole you out. You're not reading books no more. You don't put down the 1611. Now you're in the corner sucking your thumb with a dunce hat, because it will, like I said, possibilities or effects, and it will dummy you down, because again, like the brother read in Proverbs 26, he that hateth disassembleth, they conceal stuff. So they're not going to put anything in there factual. You're just going to be looking at animals for the next 2 years. Yeah. All right. Salakia. Sorry about that. So we got this next video. It's pretty interesting. And she's going to talk about TikTok.
Don't forget your Fair Use Act, King.
Oh, fair use, fair use. The water.
Else notice that your For You page has been a little too accurate lately. It hasn't been things that I'll Google or I talk about. It's been thoughts.
TikTok knows everything about us.
Hold up, don't scroll. Let me ask you something first. Can someone please explain how this algorithm works?
TikTok users often wonder how the world's fastest growing social network seems to know them so well.
TikTok's secretly listening to us while we're watching videos. I don't know.
The answer to how this app gets to know you so intimately is a highly secretive algorithm. Long
in terms of implementing their algorithms. TikTok's algorithm can influence the thinking of US youth.
Now, the US ain't putting up with this, but it says secretive algorithm, right? Like we don't have the tech to it. And this is the games they be playing. They all go in different doors, but go in the same room,
To understand how it knows users so well, the Wall Street Journal created over 100 automated TikTok accounts, or bots, that watched hundreds of thousands of videos on the app.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know what a bot is, it's it's basically a robot, and it's like a false account. And basically what the Wall Street, they're going to explain it. They created these to try to see how is it that TikTok is able to use their algorithm, secretive algorithm, to customize it to getting you to be pretty much deaf, blind, and dumb.
We also spoke to current and former executives at the company. Officially, the company says that shares, likes, follows, and what you watch all play a role in what TikTok shows you. We found that TikTok only needs one of these to figure you out: how long you linger over a piece of content. Every second you hesitate or rewatch, the app is tracking you. Just want to quiet the noise. Through this one powerful signal, TikTok learns your most hidden interests and emotions and drives you deep into rabbit holes of content that are hard to escape.
So for instance, if you're looking at this Black Lives Matter stuff,
You can sell this $5 spatula on Amazon and compete with hundreds of other spatula sellers, or you can sell digital products on Amazon and compete with almost no one. You see, I use a brand new Amazon platform that's banned to sell a physical product.
Shalakia.
Viral dances,
Step 227. So basically, what they're saying is, if you watch a particular thing all the time, that's going to keep you mad, angry, sad, glad, just in a in a disillusion. You know what I'm saying? You watch your favorite things, they laughing and stuff like that. And then the next thing you know, 3 hours go by. Time has sped up. We all know that. So again, this algorithm is set for each person, not for the masses, but it's set for each person. And it can cause problems, and they know this. All right, let me continue on. This
One
is
of the
like
bot accounts
just like the last 2 minutes, and that's it.
programmed by the Wall Street Journal. Let's call it Kentucky 96. We set up these accounts to understand how TikTok figures out your unexpressed interests. We assigned each bot a date of birth and an IP address, which told TikTok their location. None were given a gender.
So you guys see, right? So when you have an IP address, it does give away your location. Now, these are all fake bots. Now, they tell you the Wall Street Journal does this. So you don't think they do this to us? You know what I'm saying? So they already, dry snitching on themselves.
We gave each bot or user interests, but those interests were never entered into the app. The only way our users expressed their interests was by rewatching or pausing on videos with related hashtags or images. Some were into extreme sports. Others were interested in forestry or dance or astrology.
I'm not the babysitter. I'm not the parent.
Or some other topic.
Keep scrolling if you hate animals.
For all our accounts, we found that TikTok draws users in at first by serving a wide variety of videos, many with millions of views. Then, as the algorithm sees what you respond to, the selection of videos and the view counts can get lower and lower, with fewer of them vetted by moderators to see if they violate TikTok's terms of service.
You guys hearing this? This is crazy. So they're actually, it's like luring you in. It's like putting candy down, or if you like chocolate, or if you have a favorite drink or whatever, and they just luring you in. And this is some wicked stuff.
We reviewed our experiment and its results with a
Chalaki.
data scientist, an algorithm expert, and Guillaume Chasleau, a former Google engineer who worked on YouTube's algorithm. He's now an advocate for algorithm transparency. He says TikTok is different from other social media platforms.
The algorithm on TikTok can get much more powerful, and it can be able to learn your vulnerabilities much faster.
In fact, TikTok fully learned many of our account's interests in less than 2 hours. Some it figured out in less than 40 minutes.
On YouTube, more than 70% of the views come from the recommendation engine. So it's already huge, but on TikTok, it's even worse. It's probably like 95% of the content that is seen that comes from the recommendation engine.
So you guys, that's basically on the algorithm. So it's telling you TikTok, it has the game 90 to 95%. That's scary. So that means all the time, we are constantly being watched. We're constantly being recorded. And I'm sure many of you have known that. And you could think President Bush, it was going to come, the Patriot Act. I mean, that's basically what it is. After that came out, I mean, it was a wrap anyway. So it really don't matter about the algorithm. But, just to give everyone an understanding, where this algorithm comes from, and it comes from our book. And just like I gave some scriptures, some demonstrations about, the social media algorithm and the dangers of it. And it's really dangerous for our children. This is why no one likes to read no more. I don't know libraries now, they have more computers in there than books. That's a fundamental that's dying, and so people rather read the Kindles and stuff. That stuff messes your eyes up. So again, the class was on social media algorithm and how they keep entrapping us, how they keep manipulating us, how they keep giving us propaganda, how they keep indoctrinating, they keep their foot on our neck. And I just, what we have to do is the one major thing as us Israelites are trying to put this word out, and we're trying to let our people, first thing and foremost, let me get Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Baba Kusha. Is he still on?
Yeah, Con, I'm here. I got you. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and 13.
God.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
God. All right. So, this is basically what we're supposed to be doing. No one said that you cannot look at social media, but understand the wickedness, the pernicious, okay, the subtle, the disassembleth, all these things. Remember, pernicious having a harmful effect, in a gradual or subtle way. And we all know the serpent from Genesis 3 and 1. He was subtle, he was crafty and sly. It's amazing how these they just keep going and going and going. They don't even have commercials a lot of times now. You just sitting on there with the blue light at 1 o'clock in the morning, because you just got off at 10 and your kids asleep or whatever, and you're just getting on there and you're just buried in it. You're getting dark spots around your eyes, you can't sleep, you're getting you know, you just can't sleep at night. And so insomnia and stuff like that. So again, brothers and sisters, just make sure, and this is mostly for the children, these teenagers that's getting ready to be grown folks. I don't really think too many of us has these issues, but you never know. But you let your kids know that there is something called an algorithm, and it whatever it looks at, it goes for you. And if it listens to you, I'm sure these little pedophiles, they have ways to sniffing these kids out as well. So you just got to make sure you pay attention to your child's social media. If your child has a Facebook, I don't know why a 6-year-old would have one, but just you got to monitor these things. And these algorithms can be very dangerous. Okay, so again, it's pernicious. It has a harmful effect in the long run. So what we have to do is the whole conclusion: fear God and keep His commandments. And hopefully that was edifying. Like I say, I didn't want to take too long because I had a whole bunch of stuff. I was like, I didn't want to get too nerdy and just go in, everybody fall asleep on me. But it's just like something that we need to be aware of. Like the brother brought out, we're being tracked. Okay. And that was ever since what, 2002 when the Patriot Act came out. Now they just found new ways to track us with these they call them handies, these cell phones. Okay. So again, just be aware. And that saw this guy, man. He's
It's a
just
lot.
done.
Yeah. So with the tracking, it just got more sophisticated because back as early as I think like in the 70s, they was tapping in and recording all of our phone calls from the landlines.
Done. Done. Yeah, that's yeah, those all those technologies, all that stuff goes back. The Germans pretty creative people, but they had a lot of brothers over there too. I don't think they're gonna say anything about how we was creating stuff, but yeah, they was doing all that back in the early 1900s. They had recorders um that can hear you from miles away. That what is it? That Ultra K stuff, the whole mind control that started in the early 1900s and stuff like that. So this is not what the brother's telling you. It's not new technology. It's not at all. They just making it better, but it's always been there. You want to say something, King?
No, I was agreeing. I was saying, Con.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's always been there. They could hear you talking from the satellites back in the 70s. They could see you what you're eating on a part, but like they already had this, they already had this, you know. I think a sister was the one that created a satellite. So all this technology was already out there. They just bringing out a brother created the what is it, the drone? It's like, come on. So all this stuff is nothing new. They just what's the word I'm using? They just made it better. They made it a little bit smaller and stuff like that. So we have to pay attention.
Slocky. Yeah, we have unsolved murders.
Say that again, King.
I say, yeah, we have unsolved murders.
Oh yeah, Con. So yeah. See, you trying to get me to go down this rabbit hole. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Wow.
Con. Yeah. Yeah, they're bringing out a lot of that stuff, and like I say, this is a pernicious, a disassembled country, and they're very subtle, So again, they're very crafty, they're very sly. So, just be careful, with the technology, especially if you got ribs at home. Make sure you turn the phone over, cameras ain't exposing them. Make sure you put a little piece of tape on your camera of your Surface, your laptop, all that stuff. Make sure you turn it over at night because people can get in there, you know. And just try to do your best that you can do um with what you got, but just know you are being watched, you are being listened to. There's a rhythm, and we really want to make sure we give our children this education. You know what I'm saying? We didn't really grow up with cell phones, so we ain't too bad with it. But them kids, I see kids all the time. I don't understand this walking with headphones on. And they're killing these kids. These cops are telling them to stop. They know they got earbuds. And I mean, this stuff is just crazy. Why? Because they all on this algorithm, laughing all the way from the school about little skits and stuff. And you just jaywalk like the woman just jaywalked, and she's walking along, listening to whatever, and they jammed her up, which was crazy. But you know, Lord willing, that doesn't happen to any of our people, especially our family members that we know. But we have to be cognitive. So again, this algorithm, it's a wicked, um, the white man's the devil the Bible speak of. He's a pernicious person, along with these other nations, and they're just putting harmful effects on our people. So continue to do these law, statutes, and commandments, and fear God and keep his commandments. Done. Anybody have any questions?
Nah.
Done. So hopefully we was edified. Shemai, you got any questions? Okay, come. Anyone have any questions? If not, I'm gonna go ahead and close it out.
Salaki King.
Gone.
Not questions, man. Beautiful lesson though. This is a great, you know, edification, like you were saying, brother, because that algorithm is what'll keep you in that docile state,
Gone.
and it'll have you going. And like you said, you'll start to, wander off in your brain. What the Lord say, your idle mind is the devil's playground, and that idle is just what you spoke about in your lesson, just being stuck in the matrix. So
Gone.
I just wanted to say that's a beautiful lesson, King. All praises to the Most High.
Gone. All praises. The water. Yeah, we don't want to be stuck in the matrix, fellas and ladies. We do not want to be stuck in that matrix. So no one has any questions. Like I say, it was a nice, painless class on social media. Um, like I say in the beginning, try to give you guys some scriptures to let you understand, the whole algorithm and what it is. Just try to get your understanding of what an algorithm is and how anyone can basically put that on you. It's not just with these phones and technology. It can be with everyday work. Your boss, he can put you in that algorithm. You know what I'm saying? This is why we got gun store, liquor store, gun store, liquor store, church. It's an algorithm. You know, it's a process, it's a set of laws, and then it's a calculation. We go out there, we get beat up, we go get our drink. This dude talking to my old lady. Now I got to go to church and pray because I didn't kill them, or whatever the case may be. So even within our neighborhoods, you know, we have an algorithm. I may bring that out another time. So that's a very important word, you know. And so it can be, it's a good thing, you know, in the Bible we have an algorithm, right? But it can be a bad thing, especially if people find that out about how to put our whole communities in an algorithm, which they have. But you know, I digress. So without further ado, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and if everyone face the east, I say the Lord's Prayer in Paleo Hebrew. Now bear with me. I'm getting this is my second time doing this. Give me a second. Okay, Con. Everybody face the east. All right. Abanawa, Shabashaya, Kadash, Haya, Shamka, Aya, Malak, Wafka, Dabas, Wataza, Wanka, Haya, Ishba, Ashata, Haya, Haya, Bash, Shaya, Natham, Lalawa, Lechin, Ka Yawam, Wasak Danawa, Chasaba, Na, Kasala, Na, Chasaba, Yanawa, Wala, Dabanawa, Banasawa, Alba, Hawasha, Nawawa, Maamakaya, Kaya, Hamalakwa, Wahalaha, Wapala, La Badan, Aman. God, I gotta practice that. Ain't better at that.
Come.
Khan King, beautiful.
John, appreciate it. And let me do the Lord's Prayer in Book of Matthew. Give me a second. God, this Book of Matthew, chapter 9, the Book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 9. All right. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
One.
God, Hamashiach.
Yashala. Beautiful King.
Appreciate it, King. Appreciate it.
And we're gonna get together and touch on the Lord's Prayer in Paleo Hebrew, man, because that's something that we
God,
both struggle with as
God,
a camp, but it's beautiful, man. The attempt, man. I give you all praises to the Most High.
God. God, appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like I say, hopefully it was edifying. It's not about the time, but it's just about the substance. So hopefully if you took one thing out of it, the word algorithm, you know, or that you know, this serpent, you know, Esau and the other nations, you know, they can, you know, they're doing that confederate against us. So your brothers and sisters, you know, you have a good night. Continue to read the scriptures. Look forward to this Passover. And you know, be diligent. I love you guys. and call me Hashar.
That's right. Shalom, Martins.